Here
we are.
We're live.
Again, it's been so long.
Hey, Jude.
Hi, Pam.
Hey,
we will obviously, as always, wait for people to join us.
It's early.
Yeah, I mean, we're one minute ahead of schedule, which is almost unheard of.
We can see you, Pedro and Angel. Thank you. Hi. We'll invite you 5-10 minutes, okay?
We'd wait for people to join and then have a little intro. So
okay, here we go.
I almost haven't said this for so long, but it's Thursday evening.
It's 7 o'clock.
It's that time again.
Here we are, another lockdown. Who'd have thought it? Good evening, Luke.
Hi, Martin and Kerry. Brilliant that you're joining us. It feels like ages actually. Hi, Tim.
It does seem like a long time. Hi, who's that? Is that Ross? Hi, Ross. Hi, Gemma. Nice to see you. Oh, you're so punctual.
I know,
maybe you've been waiting for months for this.
I know what we've been doing.
I'm trying to remember, when was the last one?
August. Beginning of August.
August. Well, you know, we had to have our holidays in. Good evening, Claire. Good evening, Russell.
So it's all gone a little bit chilly. So we've wrapped up
jumpers,
and to put a lovely warm hug around our heart, it's Rioja. Hi, Alice. Hi, Kerry.
Yeah.
And what better day actually than to be talking Rioja, because it's all cold outside.
I know.
It's lovely and warming, and we have the wonderful Pedro and Angel Urbina joining us from a winery who we have loved ever since Pedro turned up at our office on a Friday morning and got us
laden with wines
and got us tasting red wine on a Friday morning, and actually we really embraced it and
we did embrace it, and we have to be absolutely honest. I mean, tasting wine on a Friday morning, Thursday evening, Thursday evening's the new going out, so we were a little bit worse aware on the Friday morning when he arrived.
Surely not.
And it was one of my bugbears, thinking, oh my God, are we going to have to taste a load of Rioja here on a Friday morning with a bit of a hangover? And my God, were our minds turned upside down that morning.
Well worth it. Well worth it. Hi, Jane and Blisty, by the way.
But anyway, just before we introduce Angel and Pedro, just a little bit about what we've been up to. What have we been doing? I mean, it's all gone crazy. I did get my hair cut. I hope everybody finally got their haircut.
I think I'm 3 haircuts into lockdown now, which is a relief.
I'm sure we've all sorted out our gardens and our homes and done all of our DIY. No. We sorted out our wine cellar. No.
Finn has decided to be a little bit less sociable this evening than normal. Finn, can I say hello?
Finn, he's got.
That's a good boy. That's
slight embarrassment
to the people.
Slight embarrassment.
So
what have we been doing? Just to let everybody know, anybody who doesn't know us, very welcome, and thank you very much for joining us. This is an autumn lockdown live event, and we are talking about Rioja from the Urbina winery this evening. We are a wine retailer of organic wines from all over the world, and particularly unusual origins. We deliver up and down the country every day of the year. In fact, we've been delivering all over Europe over the summer. Interestingly, it is interesting how our life and how our worlds have changed. And whilst we haven't been able to do any sort of in the flesh wine events, we've been doing a lot of virtual wine events for businesses and private households who've basically wanted to get together, either their teams or their families, for a little get together on a Zoom call. We've been hosting them, and the way it works is that we send out the wine to each individual household, and on the day of choice of the event, we zoom in and we host it for about an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half, or whatever, and they've been going phenomenally well. So much so that we've introduced cheese to the wine box.
Hooray!
Yep. And actually, from here on in, there are going to be lots of different themed virtual wine events. So if anybody is interested in doing a virtual wine event, do give us a shout. I know a few of you have done them, but we've got the volcanic wine event,
the Italian job.
That's a new one.
That's what it does on the tin.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of salami in the box as well.
But it's all about, as we've all been experiencing,
can I make the announcement?
Oh, there's an announcement.
There's an announcement. Da, da, da. So we've been hoping that we could get a in the flesh tasting, our Christmas tasting gathering. Sadly, that's not going to happen. So instead, we are going to do a Zoom event, a Christmas Zoom event, to which we're going to invite everybody and anybody who wants to join us. We'll send you out all the wine and cheese, and on the date, and I think we're going to have 2 or 3 different days or dates, because we don't want the Zoom groups to be too big, because we want them to be nice and what's the word? Intimate,
yeah.
So that we can all have a chat and basically get to know each other over again. And it will be just as you remember.
So watch this space, I think, is the key there.
Yeah.
I think without further ado, we need to do a little bit of an intro, because we have the Urbinas waiting in the wings, as well as right in front of us in the form of wine.
So just before, Pedro and Angel, you have to be very, very, very nice to them. They've been incredibly generous with their time, because it will come as no surprise that they are in the middle of the harvest. And they have stopped. They've hopefully washed their dirty black hands and their faces and changed their clothes to join us this evening. But it is incredibly busy time at this time of the year in any winery. Mm-hmm. So without further ado, let's bring them in. What do we have to do?
Here we are.
Do some technology. Here we go.
Hello.
Buenos días. Buen día. Pedro and Angel.
Hello,
thank you very much.
How are you?
Nice to see you. Just for everybody, Pedro is in red and Angel is with the big beard.
He's been in lockdown as well, from the hairdresser or the barber.
So you guys, you're brothers, yes?
Yes, we're brothers. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have an older brother too.
Okay. Who is the young brother and who is the old brother?
I'm the old brother, and Angel is the youngest.
He's the baby.
Can you?
And so you've been busy with harvest at the moment, obviously.
Yes. Yeah. We usually harvest in the middle of October, but this year and last year the harvest has been sooner. So we're in the middle of the harvest right now.
And what is, for the purpose of our guests here, our viewers, why is the harvest sooner?
Why is it early?
Because we had a really warm spring, and also it was lots of water, lots of rain in the spring. So both things coming together, we have an early harvest this 2020. Mm-hmm.
And is that good news for you?
The quality is really good.
This year is a bit strange, not only for the circumstances, but it's an early harvest. But with the harvest moon, we have temperatures like minimum of 3 degrees at night. Ooh. So we're already in autumn time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow! But you still have t-shirts on.
Because we are inside, but outside you need a jacket. Yeah.
Really? And so I think everybody will be interested. In Spain, the pandemic has been a problem. Has it caused you any problems in the vineyards, in the winery?
A little bit at the beginning, trying to find labor to pick the grapes and also to do the green pruning. But everything has been okay. So we're still working with the same people that we work every year. So
I think labor was one of the main problems, but we solved it because we work with the same people. And also working with wine. Wine in Spain is considered food, so it's within the essential activities. So we could keep on working every day.
Absolutely.
I like it.
In this country, you would be known as key workers.
I like it. And it's a very good point, actually, that Angel makes there, because, wine is part of food. It forms part of the GDP. And that's why there are government subsidies for Spanish wine. So anybody who's thinking about English wine, it does not form part of the GDP. and therefore it is not subsidized, and therefore anybody who's looking for English wine, you have to expect to pay a little bit more for it. That's how it is, unfortunately. We're not Spanish.
So we have to look at your wines. Since we met you, Pedro, when you came to our office that Friday morning, and we tasted all your wines, and we could easily have taken all of them. But the three that we currently are listing are the 1999, the 94, and the 2006.
Yes.
Now, this evening, we were deciding what should we open and taste, because we can't taste all the wines every evening. So we have currently opened the 2006, which...
Cheers.
Yeah,
Well, cheers. We have we brought all three of them just in case. So which one did you open?
2006.
2006? Okay. Then cheers with the 2006.
Cheers.
So we have we did decant because we know that this is necessary, and we always recommend it to our customers that they should use their decanters because people never do.
Okay.
And go on.
Look. Yes, I can do that too. Look.
There we go. Across nation.
A pair.
So cheers, and cheers to everybody who is here.
Cheers to everybody, and thanks for the opportunity.
Salud.
Yeah, so cheers.
Salud.
So Pedro and Angel, one question that we all have is that these are very old wines, all of them. And tell us a little bit, when do you decide to release the wines from your cellars? Because we've only had these for a few years, but they are old already. So when do you decide when they get released?
It's by I think it's two main reasons. One is obviously tasting. When we think it's ready to go, I think that's the right time. And also when one vintage is over, is finished, we jump to the next vintage.
And also having like bad vintages let us be in a spot where no one else is around. So when everybody is done with the vintage, then because we are placed in a very cold place in Rioja, our wines need time to develop. So our wines get as far as where not many wines can get. So this is where they better develop.
And one thing, I think Urbina is a little bit different than other wineries because we don't work with the same vintage or the next vintage every year, because we are a small producer, so we don't have enough volume, enough wine to sell for supermarkets. So we only work with the independents. And for instance, if a year is really, really good, it's an excellent vintage, we maybe produce lots of reservas and ground reservas. But if a year is pretty good, maybe only 20%, 30%, 50% of the production will be reservas and ground reservas.
Okay.
And if a year is difficult for us, maybe we don't produce these wines. And we may jump to other vintages.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is that maybe some vintages, you can find them for longer period of time in the market. And some vintages, they go away really fast because we just bottle a few bottles of those vintages.
Yeah.
So
we have a lot of people. We have a lot of people this evening who are drinking the 99, which was you made as a crianza, but that's the one.
There we go. Hang on, I can do that too. I can do that too.
And a lot of other people have got the bottles and are waving them now. And it's interesting because people expect older wines to be the reservas and grand reservas, yet the 99 is so lovely now still, and it's got quite a lot of age to it. When did you release the 99 for sale?
We've been working with 1999 for a long time already. Now, the thing why 1999 maybe is more fruit driven than the other vintages that we are tasting tonight is because with 99 it's a wine that is it's been longer in the vat.
In the tank.
We ferment in the stainless steel. We put the wine for a year or two in the oak barrel, and then for this wine, sometimes we allow the wine to stay in the vat for 2-3 years. So maybe this wine has been a little bit longer, and the bigger the container where you keep the wine will age at a slower motion.
Okay, yeah, interesting.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons this wine is more. It feels sometimes it feels even younger than the 2006.
Yeah.
More or less. And the reason is because it stays for 99. The wine has been longer in the vat.
The stainless steel doing the action glass for a very long time.
So for the people who are listening, the bigger the container, the wine ages at a slow motion. For instance, a wine in a Magnum, which is a liter and a half bottle of wine, the same wine will age at a slower motion than in the regular bottle of 75 centiliters.
Okay. Okay.
So we should start selling the magnums
Can
of
you
your
hear
old
me okay?
So just so that everybody understands, it's Rioja is a very interesting region. First of all, I believe it is the smallest region in Spain, and yet it has this reputation, this massive reputation, and it produces sort of glorious wines. But here's the thing, because there is so much Rioja sitting in the winery cellars, if Rioja stopped making wine today, they could still continue to supply Rioja for years and years and years, because there is so much that is held back in the cellars until the Rioja people consider it time to release them. So the questions that we're trying to ask here is that it's a 1999 bottle of wine, so it's nearly 20 years. It's 21 years old. It's been in a tank for 3 years, but it's been in bottle for 17, 18 years, and it's only now becoming available on the market because they consider it not appropriate to release them until now. And this is so unusual because normally you don't get this aged wines, and it makes it unique, very, very unique. Arguably, most wines on the market are sold and they're drunk too early, and they don't get to their point of maturation, but these do. And that's the really nice thing about Urbina, and they are very, very unique in the wine trade as well. If you ask anybody in the wine trade, trade people will always talk about Urbina because because of the uniqueness. So I was just explaining a little bit about that. Yeah.
So also when we saw you, Pedro, you were saying that the winery, you were moving to organic certification, I think, if I remember correctly. It was a while ago now.
Yes.
So are you working that way now?
Especially Angel he specializes in organic and biodynamic.
We're working. We have 2017 with the frost, and we have a lot of problem because of the frost. We are in this part of Rioja. The frost hit very, very hard, so we have to stop and focus to recover the green, and we are working again because you need to be 4 years to start with the, and also this year with the mildew it was a bit also difficult year, but we keep working because this politically ecological. And one thing is that we need to put all the plots at the same time, and that's something that is a bit hard for us. I asked the government if we could start with one plot so you can test, because we have some plots they are organic, but some others and the young ones they are too vigorous and it's hard to manage. So we have to go either they tell us to go straight 60 hectares, or you have to start all at the same time. So for us, if you only have one plot, it's very easy. But if you have you want to have consistency on the volume and be true to your heart with the organic, it's very difficult to balance. So we're working on it.
Okay.
But I guess it has to be said that you always farm with the environment in mind. Therefore, even if you aren't officially organic, you still take care to work organically in producing your wines anyway.
Yeah, most of the organic we make organic nutrients, all the process. But some years we work the fields also like ourselves. So if we have to take some little amount of medicine, we prefer than spraying big amount of sulfur or copper. So that's where we have our discussions with the government, what we call the politically ecological or the efficient. So still working on that.
Pedro and Angel, I have a question. Because we always talk about organics, and it's very, very expensive to get organic certification. Can you tell us how much it costs to get your organic certification? How much do you think it costs?
That's a big question.
I think organic, maybe, I don't know the certification, but organic agriculture maybe is 30% more expensive. Because you have to work more in the vineyards, taking care of the vineyards. Sometimes you lose the crop because of the rot.
Yeah.
So I think an honest organic viticulture will be 30% more than a regular agriculture.
But to get the certification,
I think maybe 6,000 euros to get all, because you need to get the let's say when people comes to examine your vineyard, take the samples, and all the paperwork you have to make. I guess if you hire a consultant to take all the process, it will be around 6,000.
Yeah, it's a big.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have a question from one of our viewers here, Tim and Emma. They have all three of these vintages, and they would like to know which one is your favorite, and also what is your suggested food pairing with the wines, or the favorite.
For me, I like three of them. They're just different. It's like sons and daughters. But it's true that many people come to the winery, especially in Christmas, because they want to buy wine as a gift for someone else, or for a dinner, for a special event. And they ask me, you have so many different vintages, so many different wines. Which one would you recommend for a gift? Me, I always said 1999 or 2006, because for me, I think everyone will enjoy those wines, because in my opinion, they are really round. It means it doesn't have too much acidity, it doesn't have too much oak, it's not too old, it's not too young. Like everything is like really, really well balanced. So it's a secure value. Imagine we throw a party tomorrow, a birthday party, and you invite friends, family. Everyone has a different palate, and I think these two wines, or especially 2006, everyone will enjoy the wine. I think it's impossible for someone to say he doesn't like the wine.
Yeah.
Maybe someone can say, well, I prefer a wine from Priorat, from Toro, which are wines that are much bigger. But at the same time, I think they will enjoy this wine.
Okay.
It's what I call myself a 4x4 wheel drive. So it works with everywhere.
Okay, taking that analogy, what is the 1994? What is it? What sort of car is it? Is it the
1994?
Yeah, for me, it's my favorite wine. And answering your question, I would pair it with here we make the kind of like barbecue with the old vines. We make fire with the old vines, and that those smoky notes that the meat or the vegetables grilled with the vine shots gives smoky notes that go very well with the aged Tempranillo. It's also like the Viola and the Pinot Noir. It gives this smoky notes, and I think it's a very good pairing, like a barbecue and stuff.
So the most typical dish here in Rioja is called chuletillas al sarmiento. Chuletillas is lamb ribs, baby lamb ribs, and is grilled with the vine twigs, the vine canes.
Yep.
And that type of wood, it gives a really smoky flavor and aroma to the meat. So I think Grand Reserva 1994 goes really well with those like smoky earthiness.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. In fact, we have a couple of vine roots here. Maybe we should light the barbecue tomorrow.
Yeah, we should try it. Yeah, we should.
And we have lamb, so that sounds like a great combination.
That's very good pairing, yeah.
Okay.
So have you been taking visitors at the winery since, with all the lockdown and coronavirus?
Since 1 month ago, we have a regional restriction, so we can make tours, but they have to be 5 plus the guide.
Yeah.
5 people, groups of 6 people, 5 plus the
Smaller groups.
Small groups.
Yeah.
And with everybody wearing the mask. I mean, we live together here in the cellar, so we are not. It's not mandatory to have a mask, but when we are working all the time, we need to wear a mask. And during the visit, you can only take off the mask to taste the wine.
Well, that's good. That's good.
That's good courtesy.
Otherwise, it's a disaster.
We have another question here from Simon, another one of our viewers, and he's asking which vintages that are still maturing are you really excited about? Have you got a real treasure that is going to be released in the near future?
For me, it's difficult to tell because you need to see the evolution of the wine. And sometimes you get, surprises. Sometimes you don't. But it's see, I think with Urbina, vintages can be important, but maybe they're not that important. What I'm trying to say is that we own 70 hectares, and every year, every vineyard is slightly different. For instance, if a year we have lots of water, lots of rain, the soil that has more pebbles is more sandy, is much better because all the water will drain. And if a year we have a lack of water, a lack of rain, the soil that is more clay is much better because it retains all the moist. So what I'm trying to say is that every vintage we have different vineyards that they work better than others. And our job is to put that quality in different vessels and produce different wines. Also, answering that question, sometimes people always ask me, why you put especial in the label? When we use the word especial, is that it doesn't really matter the vintage. We think that quality is excellent, is the best.
Okay.
And when we finished all the 1999, it would be the 2000. We have 2000.
Okay. I think that's the answer to the question. So the next one is going to be 2000. Okay. And then
and we have some secret batch of 2001 Grand Reserva.
Ooh.
In 5 to 10 years, we will release it. That will be.
That's unless you've drunk it. Unless you drink it.
Yeah, we're locked up for a long time.
I have a question, Pedro and Angel. A lot of people consider Rioja wine to be a big, powerful red wine, but your wines are not. They're not massive. They're really lovely and, like you said, rounded. And do you think a definition of Rioja should be big and powerful, or do you think it should be more mellow?
Well, in my opinion, Rioja is also has different regions. We are in Rioja Alta, in the more northwest part of the region, of the wine region, which means the coldest climate.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. Yeah, Rioja Alta, and we're probably one of the right on the border for vine growing. That's why we harvest in the middle of October, which is quite late. The rest of Europe tends to be at the end of September. South of Spain, the Mediterranean, tends to be at the end of August. And I think that a slow ripening of the grape makes the wine much softer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in order to get an idea of how cold this area is, we can almost only plant Tempranillo, that is an early ripening grape, and we are harvesting at middle of October. Sometimes people ask me, how are you facing the global warming? And I said, we are ready because by the time we harvest here at Graciano over ripened, maybe we don't want to be in this world.
Yeah.
Because from here to the lower part of Rioja, there is a 4 degrees difference, 4 degrees every day.
That's
So
a big
here, if we plant Graciano, it's very acidic. I mean, 100% Graciano from Cuzcurita is very hard to drink.
Okay, well, let's not drink it.
No, we don't want that.
You can put a little bit on the blend, but
Yeah.
100% is very acidic.
Okay.
So in the UK, Rioja wines are very popular. I mean, when we take our stands at events, when we used to do events, often people will say if they like their red wine, they would like Malbec or Rioja. These are the two buzzwords, aren't they? But definitely the supermarkets here tend to sell the big brands. So the Campo Viejo, and that's what people know Rioja as, and often tend to be very oaky and quite young, I guess. Do you think these wines that are so popular, why do you think they're so popular? I guess is my question. And are they as popular in Spain? Do the Spanish drink these big oaky younger wines, or are you more refined?
Well, I think that they are more popular because they are really easy available and a very competitive price because of the huge volumes they made. So people in a day-by-day life, they are used to whatever they have easy to get. So, and that's the supermarket wine. So
Yeah.
See, maybe the big.
Sorry.
The biggest one, the more commercial, maybe the biggest producers, the wine maybe is more oaky. They have that style, but we think oak is like a makeup. You know, just a little bit is good, but if you overdo it, it's not good.
It's like a gypsy.
Or you can taste the oak, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, when we buy old barrels, I think to buy an old barrel is like when you go into the shop to buy to the tailor to buy a dress, a jacket. If your wine is delicate, you need not much oak, you know, because otherwise it's not going to be well balanced, you know.
No.
Everything is about balance and equilibrium. in my opinion. And I understand that some people like really strong oak wines. And, well,
Yeah.
I think there is
So-
a palate for everything.
So is 2020 this harvest? Is it looking good?
I think so.
Yes, it's looking really good. We are now, some of the wines are almost, the first ones are almost finished fermenting, and they're very nice.
Okay.
So we are very happy. Yeah.
So Pedro, and when do you think we will see the 2020 vintage in a bottle?
We won't be here.
How many?
You're going too fast.
How many?
Yeah, I think there's no hurry. I think the most exotic thing about this area where we live is that the really good wines, they can age for a really long period of time. And I think that's one of the reasons why Rioja became famous in the past. Because in my opinion, here in Spain, and why not pretty much every part in Europe, everyone produces wine for their own consumption.
Mm.
And I will say those wines in their youth they're quite pleasant, but after 2-3 years, they're losing their best. And here the wines can age for a really long period of time. So in a time in history when we didn't have cars, these were the only ones that you could export.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't know, maybe in the 21st century, you went to Paris, you went to London, you went to New York, and you went to a really refined restaurant and get the wine list. You always find a wine from Bordeaux, Burgundy, Piemonte in Italy, and Rioja Alta.
Mhm.
And I think all these weathers, they may be a little bit similar, and the weather is slightly colder. So we get that slow ripening of the grape. That also, everything that you produce slowly, it will age better. And also, colder temperature or climate, you get more acidity. And the acidity is also a passport for the wine to be able to travel in time.
Yes.
And I think that's the genetic of this wine. If you taste, we think wine is supposed to be a liquid expression of a place. When you smell and taste the wine, you have to imagine the area. So this nice acidity, it will bring to your imagination a fresh, cool climate, especially in October and September.
I think the nice thing about this, for everybody who's listening, it doesn't matter whether you're drinking the 1994, the 1999, or the 2006. The wines do have this freshness, and Pedro is talking about the acidity, which is very important to retain that freshness. And it does make the wines nice and light and accessible. And I think also, it makes me think of Guinness. Guinness, all good for those who wait. We just have to be incredibly patient with Urbina wines, and they will eventually come true. So,
but we don't have to wait, because you're waiting for us, and you will give them to us when they're ready, which is the wonderful thing.
Yeah. Listen, Pedro, Angel, it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate your time is very important to you at the moment. Please send us a video of you in the vineyards harvesting your grapes, or you've probably already done that bit, or maybe in the winery. But keep in touch, because we'd love to hear more from you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your time again. We won't hold you up much longer, because I'm sure you need food and sleep and some more
wine. Pedro's drinking his wine. He's okay.
Okay, thank you very much for
nice to see you guys.
See you again soon, we hope. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, everybody, it's just us now. So that was Pedro and Angel. Nice guys.
So nice of them to join us. Yeah, really, such delicious wines, and we've enjoyed them for years now, and we know that a lot of you have as well. So
it's true to say also that when Pedro came in to join us, he and we tasted his wines with him. He was talking about putting the 1994 with foie gras, the 1999 with
some sort of game
no,
present or something.
No, it was truffles.
Okay.
Truffles.
Pure truffle.
Truffles, proper truffles. This is the season for truffles and pasta. And the 2006, but basically any of these wines will go with really nice, big, like you said, gamey, dark,
earthy flavors.
Earthy
And
flavours.
I think anything which is oaked tends to go really well with those earthy flavors,
Yeah.
which is why, going back all those weeks and months ago, if you remember, one of our first lockdown live tastings where before we met the Jordans, we had the Jordan barrel fermented Chardonnay with the mushroom on toast canapé. Mushroom on toast with truffle, the earthiness with the barrel, the
That would be
oakiness of the
perfect.
wine.
And also a big old cheddar.
Needless to
big
say, we're
old
both
cheddar.
starving at the moment.
Yeah.
So at this point, anything sounds great. Alice says she's got no canapes. I know. So for our next event, which we won't have a winemaker with us, but it's on the 22nd of October, and it's our Rhone Rangers, and we're going French, and we're going to the Côte de Rhône because it's a bit of France as a whole is an enigma.
It's going to be a little bit of a back to basics, actually.
Yeah.
What makes France great?
But I will get some canapé recipes out there so that there are canapés. So we've all got canapés at the ready. And I will get them on there before middle of next week, I'd say.
Yeah. And just to round up so that everybody is aware that we are putting an offer out this evening, just for you guys who are listening to us this evening, 15% discount off Urbina wines. So it doesn't matter which wines you get, how many bottles, you can, a lorry load would be good. But 15% discount if you use the coupon code Urbina, so URBINA LL. What is that?
15.
15. It looks like
There we
IS.
go. There we go. I've typed it in. So the dog his head is so heavy.
We've just put it up there. So that will give you a 15% discount off any of the Urbina wines. And just to add on, we have other Riojas as well.
Indeed, yeah.
Our go-to house Rioja, which is hardly a house, it's 2015 Reserva Gavantha from Bodega Urbina.
Always been lovely.
Always been lovely, and just as good, but just not quite as refined as the Urbina wines. But
the white Riojas, I mean, we can't not give a nod to white Rioja because we absolutely love it.
Akemi.
Our Bodega Ontanon Akemi white Rioja is stunning, oaked, very traditional. Get your mushroom canapé going, definitely.
Yeah.
And then we have a Viña Palaciega, unoaked, a more fresh style, but still delicious.
Easy drinking. Yeah.
Alice, yes, you can share the code. It's valid for a week. So
1 week only.
Fill your boots for a week.
Exactly. So that's it. We're going to wrap up now.
And before we wrap up,
sorry,
I just
we're
want
not
to say
wrapping up at all.
that Luke and Simon, true to form, have got some good food on the go and have a lamb neck. Okay, I think, or maybe that was historical. But if you have got it now, enjoy it. Or hysterical. Yes, we are going to wrap up. But it's lovely seeing everyone again. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed meeting Pedro and Angel or Angel.
Yeah.
Their wines are utterly fantastic. And if you've only got one vintage at the moment, really recommend you try the others.
Yeah.
Because they are superb.
Yeah.
All of them very different but brilliant.
Yeah. So the next one's in a couple of weeks' time. And the
22nd.
one after that is in a couple of weeks after that on a Wednesday. But do have a look on our website, hannibalbrown.com. They're all listed there. And don't forget that we're going to do a Christmas event, a Zoom, to which we will send out invitations to you. And there will be a choice of dates. And
it has to be mentioned, so 22nd of October, Rhone Rangers, and then Wednesday, the 4th of November is Ooh La La Cabernet, all about Cabernet Sauvignon. And it's
we will be wearing our stripes again.
Oh yeah, let's get stripes going. And that is also with a big emphasis on raising awareness for a charity that Tim, who is here listening, is a big sort of patron of, which is Race Against Dementia. So please help spread the word for both of those events, but especially for the 4th, because we really want to give a big shout out to this fantastic charity, and there'll be more announced about that as we go.
It's a really good charity.
Yeah. So cheers, everyone. Happy
Enjoy your
Thursday.
Rioja.
See
Do
you.
not glug it. Enjoy every last morsel.
Should we have a top up?
Yes, let's
go.
go.
See you soon.
Nice to see you.
Cheers.
Bye,
Finn.
everybody.
Finn.
Bye.